There is a reason when Calls the Heart fans feel like they have known Erin Krakow for over a decade, and that reason just got a lot more personal. The actress who has played Elizabeth Thatcher since 2013 has quietly become a real-life mother, and the story of how it happened is honestly one of the sweetest surprises to come out of the Hallmark universe in years. Krakow and her real-life husband and co-star Ben Rosenbaum described the moment their daughter arrived as something that shifted their entire world instantly, saying the needs of their child became top of mind the second she was born. That is the kind of line that makes you understand exactly why this news hit fans so hard. And here is the twist that makes this story even bigger than one baby. This is not just about Erin. This is about an entire cast falling in love, getting married, and starting families together, all while filming a show about small-town romance in front of our eyes. In this video, I am walking you through the full timeline of Erin's pregnancy and birth, The Other. When Calls the Heart couples who welcomed babies right alongside her, and what all of this means heading into season 14, including that engagement moment fans have been begging for since season 11. It all started building publicly back in November, when Krakow shared a photo booth-style series of images on Instagram, holding up a sonogram alongside Rosenbaum, captioned with pure joy about having so much to be grateful for. The two had actually fallen for each other on set, going public with their relationship in February of 2024, before marrying quietly the following summer. By March, Krakow was visibly pregnant and glowing on the red carpet at a When Calls the Heart event in West Hollywood, celebrating both the show's milestone season and the launch of its new prequel series. Honestly, watching this unfold in real time as a fan of the show hits different, because these two did not just find love off camera, they built an entire family while still filming a series about small-town romance. It almost feels like the show wrote its own bonus storyline in real life. But Erin was not the only Hope Valley star expecting. Just weeks before her announcement, on November 11th, Kevin McGarry, who plays Constable Nathan Grant, and his wife Kayla Wallace, who played Fiona Miller on the show, revealed they were expecting their first baby together. Kevin and Kayla actually met on set as well, confirmed their relationship back in 2020, got engaged in 2022, and married in 2024. 2 weeks after their announcement, Erin and Ben shared their own news, and Erin later joked at a press event that something was in the water. Then, just weeks after that, Chris McNally, who plays Lucas Bouchard, surprised an entire room of fans at the Hallmark Christmas experience by pulling an ultrasound photo out of his pocket during a live panel, announcing that he and his wife, fellow Hallmark star Julie Gonzalo, were expecting their second child together. Ben Rosenbaum could not resist joking on stage that season 14 would need to open its own Hope Valley nursery. I do not think I have ever seen 3 couples from the same show announce pregnancies within weeks of each other like this. It genuinely feels like Hope Valley spilled off the screen and into real life. And as a viewer, that is such a wholesome thing to watch unfold. All 3 due dates landed within about 6 weeks of one another, which meant fans spent early 2026 refreshing Instagram constantly. Kevin and Kayla were actually the first to welcome their baby, announcing the birth with a sweet Mother's Day post on May 10th. Then came Erin's turn. She and Ben made their last public appearance together at a Walk MS event in late March, and then they went almost completely silent. Their daughter was actually born in early April, but the couple chose to keep it entirely private. For more than a month, before saying anything publicly, with their last visible post simply being a quiet Mother's Day tribute that fans now realize came after the baby had already arrived. That kind of restraint from two people whose entire careers are built around public visibility says a lot about how protective they wanted to be of this moment. I really respect that they gave themselves that time before letting the world in. Then finally, on June 23rd, Krakow and Rosenbaum broke their silence in a people feature, confirming the birth and sharing their very first comments as parents. They described their daughter as the greatest gift and admitted their priorities changed the instant she arrived. They even joked that Erin, who had never been a coffee drinker before, has had a bit of a change of heart since becoming a mom. Meanwhile, Chris and Julie's second baby was expected right around that same window, rounding out what fans have been calling the biggest baby boom in the show's history. So to be clear, the official reveal date fans have been searching for is June 23rd, 2026, when people confirmed everything directly from Erin and Ben themselves, nearly 10 months after their wedding and just weeks after their daughter's actual birth in early April. Now let us talk about the storyline that made this whole season feel like it was building towards something huge, because on screen, Hope Valley was having its own romantic moment at the exact same time. Season 13 spent months teasing whether Nathan would finally propose to Elizabeth, and the show did not make it easy on anyone. Nathan's original plan to propose after the wildfire trial got interrupted, then postponed again and again, right up until the season finale titled Harvest Moon. In the final episode, Nathan took Elizabeth and her son LJ to the top of the Hope Valley water tower, the same spot that meant so much to LJ earlier in the season. There, with Allie's help behind the scenes, Nathan finally found the moment. He told Elizabeth he wanted to walk through this valley with her for the rest of his days and presented her with a ring made of 4 stones, one for her, one for him, and one each for Allie and LJ, representing their whole family. Elizabeth said yes, and the season closed with the two of them officially engaged, right alongside a surprise return from Lori Loughlin's character, Abigail Stanton, who stepped off a carriage back into Hope Valley for the first time in ages. If you have followed Elizabeth and Nathan since they first got together at the end of season 11, you know exactly how long fans have waited for this moment, and watching it finally happen felt earned rather than rushed, which is honestly rare for a slow burn storyline like this one. So what does this mean for season 14? Series co-creator Brian Bird has already teased that the engagement is far from the end of their story, saying future episodes will focus on how this couple adjusts to becoming a real family unit. When directly asked whether a wedding could happen in season 14, Bird gave a playful non-answer, saying the writing is on the wall. Combine that with 3 real life. When calls the Hart couple's now raising babies behind the scenes, and it genuinely feels like Hope Valley is entering its most family-focused chapter yet, both on camera and off. Now I want to hear from you. Does it feel like When Calls the Heart has quietly become the most romantic story happening off screen too? And are you hoping season 14 finally gives Elizabeth and Nathan their wedding? What makes this whole moment even sweeter is that When Calls the Heart has actually had a long history of life imitating art when it comes to its cast. Andrea Brooks, who plays Faith Carter, has had 3 children of her own during the show's run, and Pascal Hutton, who plays Rosemary Coulter, was actually pregnant during her very first full season on the series. So in a strange way, this current wave of babies is not even the first time Hope Valley has grown its family behind the camera. It almost feels like the show has this quiet tradition of turning into a real-life nursery every few seasons, and this time it just happened to hit 3 couples at once instead of 1. There is also something worth mentioning about the timing of all this, alongside the new prequel series, Hope Valley 1874, which began production around the same time these pregnancies were announced and premiered on Hallmark Plus in March. The cast was juggling promotion for a brand new spin-off, an already busy 13th season, and 3 growing families, all in the same handful of months. When you think about it that way, it makes the fact that Erin and Ben still managed to keep their daughter's birth private for over a month even more impressive. They were doing press for the show, celebrating Hope Valley 1874, and quietly caring for a newborn, all without fans having any idea. I think that is what makes this story stick with people. It is not just baby news, it is proof that this cast genuinely became a family off camera, the same way their characters did on camera. And that kind of authenticity is exactly why Hardys have stayed loyal to this show for 13 seasons. And speaking of loyalty, Lori Loughlin stepping back into Hope Valley as Abigail Stanton right as the season ended felt like the show rewarding its longtime fans twice in one finale. First with the engagement, and then with a beloved face returning home. Krakow herself shared a warm tribute after Loughlin's season 14 return was confirmed, which only added to the feeling that this next season is being built as a genuine celebration of everything the show has become, both the on-screen romances and the real relationships that grew alongside them. So heading into season 14, you have an engaged Elizabeth and Nathan, a returning Abigail Stanton, 3 sets of real-life parents adjusting to newborns between takes, and a showrunner, all but confirming a wedding is coming. That is a lot of change packed into one Hope Valley chapter, and honestly, it might be the most anticipated season the show has had in years. If you made it this far, I would love to know what you are most excited to see in season 14. Are you here for the wedding, the babies, Abigail's return, or all of it at once? Let me know in the comments, and if this video helped you catch up on everything you missed, consider subscribing so you do not miss the next update, the moment season 14 news drops.